It's the exclusive multi-platform experience we're offering trial watchers in the A.J. Armstrong murder case.
This third trial was scheduled to start at 10:30 with opening statements, but the judge just put a halt to that. Rowan Belogan is live inside the Harris County Criminal Justice Center alongside our trial expert. Rowan, bring us up to speed with everything going on.
Hey, good morning. As you mentioned, things have been reset until next week, Monday. Opening statements again for next week, Monday. We'll get to that in a bit. I'm Rowan Belogan here with legal expert and defense attorney Letitia Quinones. So how we got to where we are today, Antonio Armstrong Jr. is accused of killing his parents, Dawn and Antonio Sr., 7 years ago. And since then, there have been 2 prior trials with jurors hung at this point. Now, how we got to today likely has to do with the motion that happened last week, a motion where the prosecutors are trying to bring in a key expert or an expert of an alarm.com VP, which is part of their whole part of their defense, I guess you could say, more or less. They're a big part of their whole thing here. Letitia, you've been in there. You were in there this morning when all of this happened. Your thoughts on this whole thing?
Yeah, if you remember on Friday, the prosecution had brought forth a witness where normally was going to be a lay witness, and now they wanted to deem him an expert. It was at that time the defense objected and said, oh, wait a minute. We didn't get notice of this because the Criminal Code of Procedure says that they're supposed to get 20 days notice for any experts that are going to be used. Well, they only got a couple of days notice. And so as a result of that, Rick DeToto told the judge, hey, if you're going to allow this expert to testify, then we deserve a continuance because we need time to vet this expert.
And as of right now, we don't know if that's the official reason, but sources tell us that is why that this whole thing is being reset, as likely the defense tries to find their own expert who can counter whatever this VP from alarm.com may say.
Absolutely. One of the things that they're going to want to do and that you need time to do is to vet the expert. How many times has he testified for the prosecution? How many times has he testified for the defense? Is he solely a prosecution type expert? Has he ever been caught not telling the truth before? These are all the things that you want to know about an expert before they get on the stand. In addition to what you said, Rowan, we want our own expert to counter what that expert has to say. So because of that, if we're correct in what our assumptions are, then we believe that's the reason for the continuance.
And right now we don't have any cameras inside the courtroom, but we've done something different. We've hired a sketch artist. This is the back of A.J. Armstrong's head and the look at Judge Kelly Johnson just moments before all of this was decided. Let's talk a little bit about the courtroom itself. Inside, it was packed. Yes. There was a lot of family members. I would say I think majority were family members, media, and other interns with the DA's office all watching. Was that surprising to you, or did you expect that?
No. So what you want to do as a defense attorney is to pack the courtroom with supporters, family, friends, people who believe in your client, because it sends a message to the jury that this person is worth something. This person is worth me taking time off from work, taking time out of whatever I have going on today to stand up for this person because we believe in him. It sends a subliminal message to the jury.
I'll tell you what, it was the first row here filled with family, the second row about halfway with family again, and in the back, AJ's grandparents were sitting there as well. AJ was sitting most of the time with his wife, yes. Kate. She was in there. Kate's mother was there. Several family members, and you said this is a subliminal message to the jurors here.
Absolutely. I mean, don't you want to know that this person is worth saving? You know, it gives somewhat of a credibility to that person that so many people were willing to come and stack the courtroom in order to show support for A.J. Armstrong. It says a lot.
What does all of this say that we're delayed another week? What, to you, if you were in this position, let's say you were in a prosecutor's position at this point, what would that all say for you?
If I needed to get that expert testimony in, a week's continuance would be worth it. You know, would just be worth it. For the defense, same thing. You know, if you get an extra week to prepare to get ready, it makes it all worth it. So another continuance is much like what I said this morning. A.J. Armstrong walked out the courtroom with his attorney today. That's another not guilty. And that's just how we view it. So anytime that we have more time to get prepared and get ready, it's always best for both sides.
Sure. Any other points you may have noticed this morning that you want to make sure folks really take away from any of this?
I think that it should be noted how careful the judge is to protect the constitutional rights of A.J. Armstrong. She could have ruled today, no, the expert can testify and the trial will go on, because you know she's been steadfast about no continuances. So the fact that she was willing to delay this trial another week, thereby inconveniencing jurors an additional week that they did not anticipate, that just shows her willingness to protect the constitutional rights of A.J. Armstrong as well as the entire process.
That's a good point there. We want burden of proof. Talk to us about that. We have a QR code that'll probably come up here shortly about the burden of proof. What does that mean in this whole case?
A burden of proof is just basically that says that in the criminal courthouse, we talked a little bit about that the other day, and when we talked about that in family court, the actual burden of proof is clear and convincing evidence before they can take your child away from you. Well, in the criminal courthouse, it is beyond a reasonable doubt, which is higher than the clear and convincing evidence. And so the burden of proof is the highest in the land, okay? And so because of that, we just appreciate the fact that Judge Johnson is willing to go the extra mile to ensure the entire process is protected.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Letitia, here with all the expert opinions of what has happened in court this morning. I'm Armand Blogan. This is a quick preview of the bench. We'll have more tonight at KPRC 2 at 6 o'clock. Sending things back to you all in the newsroom.
Yeah, and we look forward to that. We saw demonstrators out there behind Real One's live shot. The KPRC 2 team is covering the Armstrong trial like no one else in town. As he just mentioned, join us tonight at 6 for another full episode of The Bench, breaking down this morning's developments.
And in between live shows, you can access our exclusive content on demand. You'll find it at click2houston.com/thebench.